How about that? Okay? So we can focus. Day 3, Jungle Inferno. Set the world on fire. To quote a great man, ourselves, from the Meet Your Match update. One lucky class is going to get a full-fledged class pack in the future update. New weapons, new balancing. It could be heavy or it could be Pyro, but it's not going to be both. True to our word, it wasn't both. It was good old lovable Pyro. He won. I mean, she won. They won. Look, we all win. Everybody wins but heavy. That humor. I love it. But if you want these excellent new weapons, you're going to have to earn them. Boot up your contractor and you'll see a node labeled Pyro Land. It contains 6 non-campaign contracts that you'll need to complete to claim your Pyro weapons. These contracts are free to everybody. All you need is the game and a computer to play the game on. And a house to put the computer in if it rains, and electricity to power it. You don't have to buy a campaign pass is our point. That's great. I was actually a little bit concerned about how people would get the items, but free contracts, that's amazing. Everyone can get the items. Should be able to get them on the first day, I assume. So that will be great. And hopefully the contracts also will not be like you have to play Pyro for every one of them, so that there will still be people playing other classes in order to get the Pyro stuff, so that on the second day after the update comes out, everyone will be playing Pyro. But at least that first day, there will still be people playing different things. And Crazy Cow, thanks for the 5 months there. You got Twitch Prime. Can I get a moo? Moo. Thank you. And yeah, so that's good. Accessibility for everyone, not just the people who bought the pass. But you're all gonna buy the pass. I'm gonna buy the pass. You know, might as well. And here we go. The new items. The Dragon's Fury. It was a new flamethrower that was teased. Those of you with the eagle eyes. I didn't even see it at first on day 2, but you guys saw it. The Dragon's Fury. We saw that huge barrel, and look at what it does. Powerful, single-shot flamethrower. Consecutive hits reduce reload time and deal bonus damage. So it's like a fire rocket launcher, I guess. This basically, on its own, could make Pyro into a generalist, to be honest. Because one thing that Pyro doesn't have compared to Scout, Soldier, Demo, you'll notice all those classes have burst damage. And Pyro has only been able to do burst damage through like the combos, you know, setting someone on fire, then hitting them with a flare or something. But that they have to usually get like air blasted and juggled and all that. So the range of like actually being useful was like very close. And outside of that range, Pyro wasn't really able to, you know, get those kills. So having a flamethrower that can potentially do burst damage from mid-range, and I don't know, does it juggle people? How does that work? Not sure, but if it does decent damage, this alone could make Pyro a viable DM class. Consecutive hits reduce reload time and deal bonus damage is also really cool. That's a skill reward, which is great to see on Pyro. Because, yeah, more high skill rewards, I think the better. And that also helps to make weapons like this not super overpowered in the hands of bad players, like new players and all those headless chickens running around in pubs, because they won't be able to hit the shots over and over again. So the weapon's like true potential is only going to be able to be achieved by the best players, you know? So that's great. Then moving on, the thermal thruster, a secondary. So now we know it's a secondary. So you'll give up your flame or your flare gun or your shotgun to get this jetpack, the thermal thruster. So mobility at the cost of reliable damage. Sounds like gunboats or something to me, you know? That's a trade-off. It's good. I like it. Creates that schism like I wanted, where there'd be 2 different play styles. You got the mobility Pyro, you got the damage-dealing waddle Pyro, and everything in between, you know? Zoom out? Why? Why should I zoom out? I'm zooming in. What, can you not see it or something? Can it still airblast? I assume it will be able to airblast, but actually they should have put a note there. I don't know. You can't see the description? Oh, there you go. Now you should be able to see it. I can zoom in that far, right? Oh, a little bit further. Right there. The sweet spot. There we go. So the thermal thruster fires a short duration blast. Deals 3 times falling damage to anyone you crash land on. So that is, I feel like it's a bit ambiguous actually, whether you have to land on top of them like the man treads or just like plow into them. Because anyone you crash, I don't know. It's a little bit ambiguous. Fires a short duration blast. So the other thing that we're not sure about yet is whether you can use this to like how much control you have over where you're gonna fly. Whether you're gonna go horizontally if you're not jumping or if you're like falling, or if you're like running forward and jumping forward. Like, will it always send you up the same amount? It's kind of hard to predict how much control you're gonna have. I'm gonna predict it will just kind of like give you upwards boost, and you have to control how much forward you want to go. But yeah, not gonna be sure about that until we use it. I imagine the short duration will be like on a meter. So it'll be like a 1 second boost for height or whatever, and then there'll be a recharge meter, I imagine, similar to like Sandman or anything else like that. And yeah, I think the mobility will be really fun, and paired with like a weapon like this, you could bomb in as a pyro. You could hit, air shots. You could fight over Spire. I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm excited about this, man, because what we needed was damage, reliable damage, and mobility. That's the recipe for a generalist, man. So they literally hit it 1-2 right there. So that's pretty awesome, man. But we still don't know exactly how powerful they are. So it's possible that they aren't enough. It's possible they're too fucking good, but we're at least in the ballpark. You know what I'm saying? Cool. Going on next, we've got the Gas Passer. Secondary weapon. Creates a horrific visible gas cloud that coats enemies. Flammable material then ignites into afterburn if enemies take damage, even enemy pyros. So I guess it's... I'm unsure about what this is. Like whether it's a throwable, like a Girardi, or if you just hold it and you just like blow gas in front of you. I'm gonna guess it's kind of like a flamethrower. I'm gonna guess it's like a secondary flamethrower where you hold it like a gas can, like this, and you like somehow blast it out, and it like puts a big puff in front of you, and anyone in front of you will get coated in it. And then if they just get shot by like a single stray bullet, they'll get set on fire or something, I guess. From your teammates too, I imagine. So, I mean, it's still hard to say whether that's going to be a problem or not. I think it should be fine for the most part, because like, there's plenty of other things that you can use to directly set people on fire. So it depends how much damage this does, whether it does like extra damage and lasts longer or something, compared to like just using a flare gun to set someone on fire or one of the flamethrowers. So I think the advantage of this is that you can set large groups of people on fire, maybe. Yeah, there's also a chance that you could set a cloud and people would have to avoid it and like try to not run through it. So it could be some sort of crowd control, which could also be useful for making the pyro a generalist, because previously the pyro couldn't hold choke points very well except for air blasting, and people could just like challenge him in mid-range fights. But if you could like deter people from rushing in certain spots, kind of like a sticky trap almost, you could have like your gas maybe there, and then they'd have to dodge, and you can use that to force people around. So this actually could be used kind of similar to like a Demo Man-esque weapon, where you force people into certain spots, more crowd control-esque, and yeah, could be pretty good right there, actually. Then we've got the Hot Hand, a melee weapon, a Steaming Glove. Gain speed boost when you hit an enemy player, so that's similar to the Eviction Notice. Minus 20% damage penalty, also I think similar to the Eviction Notice. Every successful slap is announced in the kill feed. So I don't really see this being that useful, honestly. I don't really see this doing much. It's a melee weapon that doesn't have any crazy stats, so that'll just kind of be for fun. I don't really think this one's gonna do much, to be honest. And then we get to even more good stuff. Man, good stuff here. Good stuff here. Down below. Hell yeah. We got the flamethrower improvements. You guys can see this, right? Yep. We can actually zoom in a little bit more. Perfect. Flamethrower improvements. What you see is what you get. Better visual sync. More consistent. No visual/damage mismatch. New particle effects. Applies to all flamethrower variants. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. If there was nothing more, I was hoping for this. You guys have probably seen me complain about it all the time. Just like when you're shooting your flames and it like looks like these flames are visually on your enemy, but they're not set on fire, they're not taking damage. There's nothing more frustrating and honestly more counterintuitive than that. Like, that's always been my biggest complaint about the flamethrower. I've always hated stuff with the Airblast, but like that aspect alone was so frustrating. And it prevented Pyro from actually being able to do damage. Because you're trying to fight people in like close to mid-range even, and just like this thing doesn't hit people. Like, what the fuck? You know? So annoying. New effects. I'm hoping the effects, you know, are similar to like the flog, you know, where it's just like a stream of fire, not like all this wavy flame shit, you know? And just like flames like flying in like all direction, which is so confusing. I just want like a beam of flames, you know? That's what I want. Yeah, I'm not sure if the range or whatever is going to be affected in any way with that consistency, you know, if things are like maybe tighter or whatever. We'll have to see, feel it out. But that was the most important thing that they had to do to the flamethrower, is make it reliable, that you can actually fight people with it. Because otherwise, it was just, the flames were always going to be secondary to the Airblast. Next, they've got the Afterburn. Burn duration is now based on how long the flamethrower is actively hitting an enemy. No more puff and run attacks that make enemies burn for 10 seconds. Yeah, so before you could just like catch a stray flame particle that, based on this part also, was visually inconsistent with what you were seeing with their flames. So it was really frustrating in that respect. And people were just taking a ton of fire damage. Just from running away or not being able to get to a health pack. But now there's more of a reward again for sort of a skill for pyros. You know, you have to be able to sustain those flames, keep hitting your shots and all that. And, you know, whatever it is, track them or repeatedly hit them with the Dragon's Fury. I have a feeling actually the Dragon's Fury has a different afterburn mechanic. Because it's not an active stream, you know, it's like a one-shot thing. Depends how often it shoots, I guess. You could probably just keep resetting it with that one. So yeah, I'm sure this one will limit out at 10 seconds. Or similar to what it was before, but it's just the bottom will be much lower. So overall, you're relying more on direct damage rather than, you know, that gimmick damage or whatever. You know? So that's good, because this should be doing more damage, you know, with more consistency. So the loss of afterburn, you know, probably won't even matter in most cases, because you're going to be relying on actually killing people directly, which is what we need, you know? That's the dream. The dream. And then the Airblast. Probably the single most frustrating thing in the game, actually, right now. So here it is. Hit detection for both players and projectiles is now a consistent cone. Aiming at a player's feet no longer misses. I actually wasn't really familiar with that being a issue. You know, consistency is always good, so I'm glad that, you know, they're doing that. I would have liked there to be some mention of like what the size of the cone is relative to what it was before, or something like that, because I think before or currently it feels like really forgiving. Like you'd be catching things that were not in your field of view or even behind you. So some information about that would have been nice, but we can only hope consistency means, you know, a little bit more predictable. Like, if something looks like it shouldn't be able to get air blasted, it won't be, I hope. So yeah. Then air blasting players now factors in the momentum of the pyro and the target, giving both more control over the interaction. This is just so awesome, man. No longer can a soldier that's like rocket jumping in and bombing just get completely denied. You know, you have to actually like aim, hopefully, to throw off his momentum. If he's flying towards you and you air blast him, he might slow down, but he's not gonna just fucking like go up. You know, he's not like flying and then whoop, now you're falling. It shouldn't be like that, which I think is great. And you could like launch people away from you. If they're flying towards you, you could like turn around and keep shooting them even further away. Or, you know, they can air strafe out of it, hopefully, with momentum. And I guess your momentum matters, so if you're like standing still and you air blast people, it won't push them nearly as far. But if you like are thrusting into them with the thermal thruster, you might be able to like launch people like a fan or something. I don't know. That could be kind of interesting, kind of powerful. And but the key is that it'll feel more intuitive, you know, because you have control over your own movement in some respect. You can still air strafe, hopefully, and you won't just get stopped dead in your tracks, you know. So that'll be great. Airblast now causes the target player to have reduced footing and air control for a short period, rather than losing all control. So just a little bit of reduced footing and air control. Footing. That means like it's kind of like a light stun, but not a full stun, maybe? I don't know. We'll have to see. I want as much control as possible without the air blast being worthless, but yeah. You won't get stunned. So scouts actually should be better against pyros now than they were before. Even though pyro's getting buffed in general, this just makes the fights more predictable and more, I don't know, just more enjoyable, I hope. You know, it'll still feel like TF2, which is a game that's all about movement and surfing, instead of just, boom, you're dead, you got stunned, you know? So that's good. Factors in upward angle of the air blast rather than having a fixed upward force. Oh, okay. So the reduced footing doesn't necessarily mean you just get lifted. Like, you'd have to be angling up at people's heads, or if they're jumping, you like aim up. You can't just like air blast just like anywhere in front of you. You have to actually try and aim it a little bit. And you can like push people further by aiming upwards. So that's nice. I feel like a lot of times you're actually going to be pushing people away from you because of the way this is all working. Rather than what happens now where if a pyro is juggling you, he's literally just juggling you up and down. Now if he's trying to juggle you, he probably has to be like right underneath you to keep you going straight up instead of just air blasting you while you're in the air, because that would just push you away. And then you'd be able to survive a little bit, you know? That'd be nice. And let's see. Air blast strength increased. So I guess with these other like reductions in air blast control, they give it a little bit more strength as well. Kind of ambiguous, you know. Hopefully it's not super disruptive. That's my main concern, I guess, is like if there's a full team push coming in, are you literally going to be able to throw them across to like the other side of lobby or completely out of a choke or what? So we'll have to see. Hopefully not, but if you can do that, then I'm fairly confident that you'd be seeing generalist full-time pyros, man, because of the ability to deny choke points that already existed, plus the reliable damage, plus the mobility. So you could see a lot of pyros, man. But at the same time, you have to realize, you know, scouts are probably going to have a good chance against a pyro. They can always stay just out of that range of the air blast, and they should have an advantage, like as a scout. But now pyro can be all around, like, you know, if he's good enough, hopefully that means he'll be able to handle those situations, not just be completely worthless if he can't air blast, you know? So I'm really hoping that all of this comes together and plays well. It's actually quite awesome. And now we go to, oh no, the consolation prize right here. The second banana. Secondary weapon. Too bad, heavy players. You lost, fair and square. And there's no prize for second place. And to commemorate your loss, here's a free free gift. Note, you'll need to complete a free contract to claim your second banana. Replenishes half the health that a sandwich does over the same amount of time, but it recharges twice as fast. I see. There's no prize, but there is a prize. Hey, I didn't think there was going to be anything for heavy at all, but this is nice. A banana. I wonder how that would play out. Let me think. Recharges twice as fast is actually... I would probably actually prefer this over the sandwich, to be honest. Because if you can drop it down and throw it at your medic, like... your medic is probably going to be getting more health over time, like relatively, right? Because he's regenning. I don't know. I think this would be better, honestly. I think it might actually be better. So, this heavy shouldn't be so sad. That'd be funny if you could toss it down and people would like slip on it or some shit. Sandwich can charge from a health pack. I guess that's true. Swaggy, I didn't forget anything, man. You just weren't paying attention. Alright, and we got the taunt. It's there after all. The gas blast. The scientific term for lighting a fart is pyroflatulence, everybody, in case you're wondering what it's like to have the universe bend down and kiss you directly on the lips. Let's see it. So he's actually using the thruster, right? Like, yeah, okay. It's not an actual fart. So, it's just an illusion to a fart. Alright, guys? We can relax. Kill taunt? Yeah, that will probably kill people. That'll probably burn people. It's actually not that slow, is it? It's actually slow as fuck. Takes 5 seconds to set up. But it shoots pretty fast. Or maybe you can hold it. Imagine if you could hold it and you could just like spam an instant kill. Please click this link. Can I trust you? I'm getting the fox hat and cute suit. Whenever I kill someone, I use this taunt and say, oopsie. I made a big stinky. I wish I didn't click that. I wish I didn't click that. No. And he looks so happy down here. Or is it she, or is it they? They look happy. Alright. Good. Looks great, man. Honestly, I think everything here is, like, amazing. This is what we needed, man. This is what we needed. I was afraid they wouldn't take it far enough, but they did. They went further, and then some. And, also, I didn't even notice this before, but apparently you can decapitate this bird. Like, what's this all about? Oh, there's like, wait, look at that. There's like a red dots on him. Is that a new weapon too? Like a sniper or something. Maybe it's a tease for a future update. I don't know, man. A three dot sniper rifle maybe? I don't know. Predator? Oh, is that what that is? Oh, so it's just a another reference like Jurassic Park. They're gonna get sued by Jurassic Park and Predator, man. God damn it, Valve. Can't be spending your money on lawsuits. You gotta be pumping that money into the competitive scene for our Valve major. What are you doing? God damn it. Alright, good update. Feeling good. Looking forward to it. Tomorrow, we're going to be probably getting the just patch notes and balance changes and You know, all the changes to casual mode, competitive mode, and maybe Halloween stuff too. But yeah, that's it, man. That's it. Hell yeah. Tomorrow. The day. The day we've been waiting for. Can't wait to spam F5 tomorrow. Alright. Now, let's just play the game. Let's play the TF2. I need to collect those